segregation is when, if it's official segregation, the government sanctions the separation of different races or religions.
It's just lack of uniformity and harmony for people to live together.
I think segregation to me is kind of like giving a bit of a beneficial resources to one race versus another race, and kind of implying that this race is way greater than a certain type of race.
Same. I think back then it was more of race as in ethnic segregation. It was, well, obviously it's still a big topic now, but I think a lot of people don't realize there's also social segregation. So some neighborhoods are more privileged than others.
For instance, especially with elementary schools from Oakland, they don't get the right funding to get AP classes, and then a majority of them are children of color, and they don't get the special treatment as you go to a nice fancier school, in an area, for example, in Alameda, they get all the fundings and everything, and it's unfortunate because those kids end up growing up not having the resources in an educational inside where they can apply to a university or a UC because they didn't take those AP classes.
That's the only protection those people have. When you can't get along with the people other than yourself, you have to stick to your own kind.
I think about when I were walking downtown of San Francisco, you would see homeless people. I guess that's a segregation of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, same thing for places like New York. New York City is one of the most segregated places as far as school systems go. In fact, Alabama, there's record numbers. I think John Oliver did something on it just last year. Alabama is far less segregated as far as neighborhoods and as far as school district than New York City is. So
I think it's mostly in the way the laws are set up and the economic system set up. The privileged get, economically privileged get better schools, better medical, all that stuff. So I don't think it's racial anymore. It used to be. I mean, of course, it's attempts at racism, and our history created the different. I guess, but not at least to us who live now, it looks like it's racism because it's from the history of it, and so the lines are drawn from racism, but I don't think what keeps it going is mostly economical. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you?
I grew up in, believe me, in the poorest part of town, and all I heard was about racism. But as I grew up, I see it more just economical.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Because if you think about it, if you look at in the Appalachian Mountains, there's mostly a lot of poor Caucasians. I mean, there's millions of them, and they get they get poor schools, they get poor medical systems, and we see it in the inner cities with the brown people, but in the rural parts it's whites. So it's mostly economical. I don't think. Because I've been in those places. I worked all over the country, and I've seen the very poor whites. I said, okay, it's not just blacks or Hispanics or it's just money. Yeah.
I think if you are able to instill in a child that they are of value, and if they want it, that they can get it, then that's awesome. But they shouldn't have to be in a situation where they're making do out of scraps.
Yeah.
They deserve better than that, and it's good to show the kids that we believe in them and that they value their worth by giving them what they need.
Yeah, the resources they need to succeed.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe it's a little off tangent, but I think the biggest issue is when housing is very segregated, then it of course makes the school segregated. So it's so complex, and people get attached to communities in positive or negative ways, and sometimes they want to stay out of solidarity or they want to escape but can't. So it's a tricky issue, and it's worth exploring a lot of different.
The only way to fix it is, I think, is to erase the whole idea about schools being funded by local taxes. It should be one large tax base going to a big pot, and every school gets the same amount. Doesn't matter what poor neighborhood or rich neighborhood. That's the root of it. Because when you have people know they don't have a way out from the lower classes up to the higher classes through education, it's systemic. It keeps going.
Yeah.
So the basis of it is poor education from poor schools. So if you take that whole thing out, I think through nutrition, it will go away. I think. The whole, it's to me, it's economical. I don't think it's a racial thing. I
think for me, you have to acknowledge the fact that just because you go to a nice school, it doesn't mean you have to disregard like the bad schools that they don't need help, because they do. And you have to acknowledge the fact that they do need funding, they do need help. You have to pay attention and listen to it, because if you're disregarding that and you're only regarding like the good schools, like the really clean, nice programs, you're kind of in a way you are like starting that segregation, that you're not acknowledging those like fundings that need to be funded or like help that needs to be there. I think that's probably it, but it's something that always happens. It doesn't really change. I mean, still for right now, you go to Oakland, I mean, honestly, like, would you really go help there? Like, no. And a lot of people unfortunately like discriminate before they go to the school, and they talk to the students and they try to like help out. So it's like still there.
Yeah, same. I don't think, at least for now, there's not going to be any change as much as we want to change, or we want to make a change. I think it takes this generation, our generation, to actually make a change, because it comes from the roots. I took an educational equity class and I learned a lot about it, but like one of the main questions like I left after taking the class was, what can we do? And it does start from the roots. It starts with who we talk to, who we support in the government, in the school boards. It's not just gonna take protests, and like you can protest all you want, which I believe in protest, but it does start from the core, and it takes a big unit to do that. Like it can't just be one or two people. It has to take a whole community to make that change, and to bring light of it. In firsthand, I went to an elementary school that was only 1st to 3rd grade, and then I have to move because they didn't provide 4th or 5th. And so I went to my 4th grade school, and it got shut down due to funding. And so I went to 3 different schools for elementary. And when I hit middle school, the school I went to was not profitable. There's a lot of there's students who were very rebellious, so there no one had a control, or no one really tried to motivate them to change at all, until I went to a school in Alameda, and I saw the difference. There were much more funding, more parent support, obviously government support, and it was very different. Like she said, like we had good books, we had good desks, better food than the schools in Oakland.
Yeah, and then not only that, but I think for me, like growing up, as if like some other people like may like relate to it, like I didn't speak English. I had to learn English when I was younger, and one of the situations was I had teachers telling me like I had to write like a formal sentence in order for me to use the restroom. So that is a form of discrimination.
Yeah.
That happened to me like in 3rd grade. I was barely learning English because I only spoke Spanish at home, and I had a teacher tell me like you can't use the restroom until you write a sentence in English, and that is a form of discrimination. And like it sucks because like you deal with that at a young age. And it transitions on, and a lot of people don't know that because they might go to a school where it's like, it might be full of white kids, or it's like your teacher might be white, and it's like they don't understand that until you're in that situation and you experience it. So it's very alive and well. It just depends on like a certain area where do you go.
My parents grew up in California, and they like to say that there wasn't a civil rights movement in California, and that there weren't hoses here, there weren't dogs, there wasn't segregation. We had no idea that was going on. We never acted like that. We never did any of that. And it's just not accurate. And so maybe they don't remember because it wasn't as in their face as, say, Birmingham. But like it was happening here, and in some ways still is happening here. And I think the fact that California is a wonderful place. I'm here by choice. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm more comfortable to be here, honestly, than I am in the South. But California still has a ways to go. Like there's still racial inequity that we need to fight to eradicate, and there's other kinds of inequity, and that we need to advocate for ourselves and for our our brothers and sisters of all disabilities and abilities and sexuality and everything. But I just think it's important that people don't get comfortable saying, "Oh, well, we're woke, we're conscious, yeah, we're there, we made it." It's not a destination. Like maybe it's a long-term destination, but it's a lifelong process. And I think you should never stop working on it, because when you stop is when you get complacent, and then that's when injustices happen. And if we really want a just society, then we have to work at it every day and not say, "Well, at least we're not doing what they're doing over there."